One of the most debated topics in Australia right now is a social media ban for children. Although the ban directly affects young people, it sparked wider questions about child safety, about privacy, and whether such a move is necessary. Let's take a closer look at this law and its potential impact both in Australia and globally in other countries as well. So the Australian government passed the Online Safety Amendment Social Media Minimum Age Bill 2024. This was actually passed in November, on November 28, 2024. The law introduces a mandatory minimum age of 16 for using several major social media platforms. This law came into effect a year later, on December 10, 2025. Its implementation is being closely watched by regulators in Europe, Asia and Latin America because many countries are also considering similar measures. But why was this done? The government says the ban was introduced in response to growing concerns about the impact of social media on children's mental health and their safety. Authorities point to rising cases of cyberbullying, online harassment, exposure to harmful or age-inappropriate content, with contact also with online predators. Officials also cite research linking excessive social media use among children to anxiety, to depression, sleep problems and reduced attention spans. The government has argued that setting a minimum age limit is necessary to mitigate these risks and create a safer digital environment for children. Now, the ban applies to major social media platforms including YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Reddit, Twitch, Threads and Kick. So a long list there. Companies that fail to prevent users under 16 from accessing these platforms could actually face fines of up to a whopping 50 million Australian dollars. But child-focused platforms such as Messenger Kids or WhatsApp Kids, Kids Helpline, Google Classroom, YouTube Kids, they're all exempt from the law. To enforce the ban, platforms must implement age verification measures. This could include photo or video verification and submission of official identity documents. Now, interestingly, there are no penalties for children or their families if underage accounts exist. Responsibility rests solely with the companies, which faces fines and other penalties for non-compliance. Now, a large-scale Australian Broadcasting Corporation survey of children found that most teenagers believe this ban will not be effective. They view it as a poor decision, with nearly 3 out of 4 wanting to continue using social media. Even photo sharing and messaging apps similar to the banned platforms have become among the most downloaded in the country. There's been also, in fact, a constitutional challenge by 2 teenagers in New South Wales, arguing that the law actually violates young people's rights to free expression and political participation. Interestingly, Australia is not alone in exploring stricter rules for children's social media use. Denmark is considering restrictions for children under 15, with exceptions for 13 and 14-year-olds who have parental approval. The Danish Digital Affairs Minister has also backed Australia's move. The European Union, Malaysia, they're considering similar regulations. And Australia now is one of the first countries to go ahead and impose these strict social media age limits. Questions loom on whether India too could benefit from such a move.